Day 13, bro. Getting a little bit better at this every morning, and I'm trying my hardest to bring more energy. I've only been up for like 120 seconds, and this is not my finest hour. But I know in order for my message to be received the way I want it to be received, I've got to bring that energy. I'm not talking about like jumping up and down kind of stuff, but still just showing up for myself and trying to be as alert as possible so I can communicate myself effectively. But every good morning routine, we're going to be based on three things. We're going to take care of our chronic dehydration. We're going to get some blood flow. With the blood flow in the body, we're going to get oxygen to our brain. And then the third thing, we're outside, so we're going to get some sunlight. That's our body's signal to wake up, let them know it's time to go. First things first, got my 16-ounce plastic water bottle. I'm sure I've got tons of microplastics, probably won't see it till the end of the day. And I've got my pink Himalayan salt. I would prefer to have like an electrolyte pack, but that's expensive. So we're going to take a quarter tablespoon of this and dump it right in the water.
If you'd have told me a year ago that I'd be waking up, making a YouTube video, and dropping salt into some water and being happy about it and drinking it and posting it online for everybody to see, I'd be like, man, you're tripping. But after doing it for a while, I can promise you it makes a huge difference. So if you've never tried salting your water or using an electrolyte pack, I highly recommend.
If the first thing you drink in the morning is coffee or an energy drink, you're making it so much harder for yourself because both of those things are diuretics. What that means is all the water that you've lost throughout the night, whether you've been sweating or peeing it out, you need to replace that in the morning. Now, it feels good initially when the coffee hits, when the Ghost energy drink hits, but because we're not hydrated, all the caffeine is going to signal our body to start trying to push water out when we don't even have enough water in to begin with. Now, I don't usually eat breakfast until maybe like 30 minutes, maybe an hour after I drink my coffee. But because I've got that water already in my stomach, I've already started the hydration process. And when I put a coffee in a few minutes later, it's so diluted because all that water is already in my stomach. It makes it a lot more difficult for my body to get rid of the water when I've already taken in my salts and my electrolytes. But remember, I'm rambling again because I don't want to hit these push-ups. We're doing these push-ups not to replace the gym, not to build muscle, not to do anything other than to just get the blood circulating.
Man, every time I watch myself do these push ups, I'm just like, these are the worst looking push ups I've ever seen in my life. But that's not the point, and I'm not gonna let it stop me. As many push ups as I've lived years on earth. Check out this chest pump.
I've been hearing this phrase a lot lately. You've got to come correct. And usually people are saying it as like a prerequisite to having some kind of an interaction with them. I think by inferring what they're trying to say is you can't come at somebody disrespectfully and hope to have any kind of a positive dialogue or a positive relationship with them. I think a lot of people are under the assumption that other people are really after their own self-interest. Well, duh. But here's my take. The reason other people aren't coming correctly to you is maybe you're not coming correctly, not to them, but we're not coming correctly to ourselves. There's such a chronic lacking of self respect that it's really hard to show people respect that they feel like they need and deserve when we're not respecting ourselves. You can just look at a person and tell if they respect themselves or not. And we've all got like shortcomings and problems and personal issues, but a person's physical appearance is a huge indicator uh, to how much they actually respect themselves. If our body is our temple, And this is a living, breathing organism. Everything we put into this temple becomes this temple. And if we're not showing it respect by giving it the necessary raw ingredients, and I'm talking about food, then how can we expect other people to respect us? How can we expect ourselves to respect ourselves? And it's not just food. We think about consumption and consuming, and that's the idea of like eating. I think of like Pac-Man, the old arcade game, and he's just just gobbling up those little balls or pellets or I don't even know. I can't even remember. It's been so long. Whatever they are, but really consumption. Not only do we consume with our mouth, we consume with our eyes, we consume with our ears. So if we're taking in stuff that's disrespectful with our eyes by what we're watching, I mean, obviously, pornography is probably the biggest example of that. There's also other things like just watching just stupid stuff. Like I'm watching this violent show on Netflix, and I'm realizing that like some of the last things that I'm putting into my mind that I'm consuming are super violent images, and I'm going to sleep on top of the consumption of people getting beheaded. It's ridiculous. Same thing with like the music that we listen to. A lot of that like gym music that we get hyped for, like if we got a big lift or something. I mean, I totally get it, but sometimes it's really hard to come down out of that ah and if we just stay there all the time, then that's going to be our vibration, our internal response, and that's a really difficult way to live. So back to coming correct. How do we come correct to ourselves first? And it goes back to something that I've always been saying, and that's building our self-esteem. If we don't know anywhere else to start in life and we know our life needs improving, maybe you're stuck at a job or stuck in some situation that right now you cannot do anything about. You can take control and you can take ownership uh, of your personal development. You can change the way you look. You can change the way you think. You can change the way you act. You can start at any one of those three places. Most of us, most human beings, are not satisfied with their physical appearance. And there's things about our physical appearance that we can't change. There's genetics and things like that. But the things that we can change, those are the things that we need to concentrate on. uh, Somebody had a really good rule. If you can't do anything about something in the next 30 seconds, a physical attribute, then don't waste your time. But if there is something you can change, if you can not drink a drink with sugar in it, if you can drink a diet instead of a regular soda, if you can drink a bottled water instead of a diet soda, there's all kinds of small choices that are available to us if we'll look for them. But we've got to be in the process of developing our self esteem and developing our eye to see the opportunities where we can improve ourselves. Really, the ultimate goal here is we want to develop a state of flow. What this means is the time is passing and we're not even realizing it because we're so caught up in our passions. And if we can become passionate about personal development and learn to come correctly to ourselves, then we're not going to have any issues with coming correctly to other people. Now, we will probably have issues with people not coming correctly to us. But when you're at a high vibrational frequency, number one, you're going to expect this because you're going to see the world as it is, not you're going to see the world as you are, not as it is. Remember, the world is not a window, the world is a mirror. So, however it is we are, our self presentation, that's going to be reflected back to us through society. So, if we want to see a better society, you have to start with yourself first. And what we want to do is a perpetual flow state. We want to just get to the point where we're so consumed, not with ourselves in any kind of a narcissistic way, but with personal development, that be the forefront of our mind. So consumed with ourselves, we don't see haters, we don't see the other BS that's all around us because we're focused on who we need to be focused on, and that's us. So, oh man, for me, I'm trying to develop this passion of getting better in the mornings, of having a solid morning routine so I can get some stuff done and really maximize the time that I have during my day. I got to go to the gym later on and hit shoulders. I've got a meeting later on today. I've got several things that are going on. And I could have gotten up and easily just not done any kind of video, but I wouldn't be at a higher vibrational state. I mean, I've already crushed a little bit of a workout. I mean, it wasn't anything huge, but I mean, it's more push-ups than most people do in a day, and that's not even my trip to the gym. This has nothing to do with hypertrophy at all. It's just simply me wanting to be more alert for myself so that I'll be more productive. And this checklist, this daily process that I put myself through, these are non-negotiable habits that I'm doing each and every day. Just little teeny tiny things that I stack. And at the end of the day, I've had a pretty good day. And so now I stack these small wins, they become days. I stack these days, they become weeks. And hopefully, this whole process, I mean, on a long enough chronological timeline, I'm going to get to exactly where it is I know I'm going to be.